right, let's dive deep into exercise, but not the usual stuff, you know?
Right.
Today, we're going way back. We've got Exercise by Daniel Lieberman. He's a Harvard evolutionary biologist. So we're going to look at how our bodies like really evolved to move.
It's fascinating how we think about exercise.
Yeah.
It's cultural,
Mm.
and it kind of like hides the real biological stuff.
Yeah.
Lieberman's research, he worked with the Tarahumara there in Mexico, famous for running long distances, and it challenges some of the things we think we know.
So like we imagine those early hunter-gatherers just like super athletes,
Exactly.
constantly moving. But was it really like that?
Well, so Lieberman tells this story about an older Tarahumara runner. His name's Ernesto.
Okay.
And Ernesto he couldn't wrap his head around running for fun, you know? Why would anyone run if they didn't have to? The Tarahumara, super fit, obviously.
Right.
But they move because they need to, not because they want to.
That's wild. Like totally flips the script on how we see exercise now. It's like this separate thing, you know, from everyday life. But okay, so if they weren't sprinting around all the time, how much did they actually move?
So there's the Hadza, they're hunter-gatherers in Tanzania.
Okay.
They've been studied, obviously more active than most folks today. But the research shows a few hours, maybe, of moderate to vigorous activity daily. Movement is built in, but saving energy, that's key too.
Makes sense.
Yeah, evolutionarily, you got to conserve your resources to survive.
It's like, what's it like? A mouse on a wheel, you know?
Sure.
Like, got to move but not overdo it.
Exactly.
So when did exercise become something we should do? Like, not just part of survival?
So way back, it was all about work or training for combat.
Right.
There's the Iliad, ancient Egypt. There's wrestling, javelin throwing. It was all about staying alive, not looking good. It's only later, 19th, 20th centuries, we get the idea of exercise for health, for fitness. Isn't that ironic? Exercise became weird when we didn't need it to survive.
Totally. And now we've got this whole industry. Gyms, gear, special clothes. Crazy how something so basic turned into this, like, optional thing. We buy it, you know? But let's talk about, have you heard the saying, sitting is the new smoking?
Oh, for sure.
Is that legit?
Lieberman tackles that head on. Sitting in itself, not the problem.
Yeah.
It's the not moving enough and not exercising. Our ancestors sat, but not like us. They squatted, knelt, moved around, using muscles even when resting. So it's the lack of movement. On top of sitting all day, that's bad.
So our office chairs aren't killing us. That's good news.
Right.
Okay, so another thing people criticize, running. Is it really hard on our knees?
This is where evolution gets really cool. We're actually meant for long distance running. Our Achilles tendons, the arch in our foot, like a spring, and we run efficiently.
Okay.
Get this, humans can outrun horses over long distances. It's true, we're not built for speed, but we can go the distance. There's actually a race, the man versus horse marathon, in Wales. Runners against horses. And this goes way back. Persistence hunting.
Persistence hunt.
Our ancestors, they literally ran animals to death.
Whoa. We were tough. Okay, but does that mean they were all super muscular?
You'd think, right? But the evidence suggests not really bulky. Lieberman tells this story of a sand hunter killed a leopard with his bare hands.
Wow.
Strength from living, not lifting weights.
Right, practical strength. But then why are we weaker than, say, chimps?
This is about how fighting changed. So chimps are reactive, right? We became proactive, using tools, weapons, planned attacks, battles, even sports with rules.
So fighting got smarter.
Exactly. Not necessarily stronger.
But we still fight, don't we?
We do, but we found different ways to channel it, like sports. It's this outlet for competition, but it takes skill, strategy, and controlled aggression. It's interesting, though. A lot of sports, they use movements that were important for hunting, fighting, running, throwing, being agile.
Right, but with new rules, new reasons.
Yeah.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Talk about aging.
Sure.
People think it's all downhill.
Yeah.
You know? But is exercise really the fountain of youth? Can we stay strong as we get older?
Lieberman talks about this active grandparent hypothesis. The idea is humans evolve to stay active even when they're older. They help their families, their communities.
So no relaxing retirements for them?
Nope. And it tells us something important.
What's that?
Our bodies, they can stay strong for a lot longer than we think. Exercise helps with that. Muscle mass, bone density, joints, it all breaks down as we age.
Right.
But exercise, it fights back. It's not a magic cure, but it's powerful.
So even as we age, we have this potential. It's inspiring, but also it makes you wonder, how do we actually get motivated? All this talk about benefits, it's great.
Yeah.
But how do we make exercise a habit?
Motivation. That's the tricky part. Lieberman says we got to find things we enjoy.
Okay.
He talks about the mood boost. Endorphins, endocannabinoids, they make us feel good.
Mm.
And those endocannabinoids, they're like the stuff in marijuana. So some people get that runner's high, you know?
It's a natural high.
Pretty much. Our brains reward us for moving. Maybe that's why we evolved to be active in the first place.
Fascinating. But not everyone feels that, do they?
True. Lieberman says mood benefits, they're not just about that one big rush.
Okay.
Exercise can reduce stress, we sleep better, think more clearly, we feel more confident. All those things, they can make us feel more positive, even without the big endorphin rush.
It's about the subtle effects, the long-term changes, not
Yeah.
just chasing a quick fix. Speaking of mental well-being, what about exercise for depression, anxiety? Does it really help?
There's more and more research saying it does. Lieberman talks about studies. They show exercise can actually reduce those symptoms. Sometimes it works as well as medication.
Wow, that's powerful. Shows how connected our bodies and minds are. But we have to be careful, right?
Of course.
It's important to approach exercise safely. Any advice on that?
Definitely. Lieberman says talk to your doctor, especially if you have a serious mental health issue. Find the right type of exercise, the right intensity. Listen to your body. Don't push too hard. And most importantly, find something you enjoy.
Right. Don't force yourself to do something you hate. It should be sustainable. This brings us to the practical side. We've talked about evolution, biology, health, even psychology. What can our listeners actually do? How do we make movement a real part of our lives?
Lieberman's got some good advice. He says, think about our evolutionary past. Reconnect with those natural movements. Walking, running, carrying, climbing.
Makes sense.
And find things that bring you joy. It could be dancing, sports, hiking, even a walk in the park.
It's about finding that joy again. The joy of moving. We kind of lose it in our busy modern lives.
Exactly. And he reminds us, it's not about being perfect. It's about progress.
Right. Small changes over time.
Yeah. Find what works for you, even if it's just 10 minutes of walking every day. Celebrate what your body can do. Don't focus on what it can't. And consistency is key.
It's like eating, sleeping.
Exactly. Make movement a habit. Lieberman also suggests get an accountability partner or join a fitness class.
Stay motivated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for the social connection, exercising with others, it can be really powerful. It gives you support, a shared goal, and tap into your playful side. Try new things, explore new places.
Like a kid again, not just stuck in a gym.
Exactly. He also talks about spending time in nature.
Oh, yeah.
Nature can reduce stress, boost your mood, connects us to the world around us.
It's a sensory experience.
It is. And it goes back to our evolution. We evolved in nature. Our bodies respond to it. Lieberman also says it doesn't have to be all or nothing. Short bursts of activity, they add up. Take the stairs, walk to work, just get up and move every hour.
Make movement part of your day, not a separate thing.
Exactly. It makes it less intimidating, easier to fit into our busy lives. But don't forget rest. We need to recover.
Right.
Lieberman says, listen to your body, take rest days, and sleep. It's essential for well-being.
Sleep is so important.
It is. Our bodies repair themselves, we process memories, hormones get balanced, have a relaxing bedtime routine, avoid screens before bed, make sure your bedroom is dark, quiet, and cool.
Create the right environment for sleep. It's not a weakness.
No, it's a need. So we've talked about exercise, nutrition, sleep, stress, social connections. It's all connected.
It's a holistic view of well-being. We've covered a lot in this deep dive. Feels like we've gone back in time, learning all this amazing stuff about where we came from and how it shapes us today.
It has been a journey. We've really dug deep, huh? Challenging those common beliefs about exercise and looking at how movement, well-being, and our history, it's all woven together.
Before we wrap up, I'm curious, what do you hope people take away from this?
I want everyone to remember, movement isn't something to dread, it's a gift. It's what our bodies are made for. It brings us joy, energy, connection with ourselves and with the world.
I love that. See, exercise is something to appreciate, to explore, not a chore. But before we go, let's do a quick recap. 10 key takeaways to help our listeners remember.
Okay, sounds good. So first, remember, hunter-gatherers were fit, but not like crazy athletes.
Second, we're designed to conserve energy. It's okay to not be moving constantly.
Third, exercising just for the sake of it. It's a modern thing.
Fourth, sitting isn't the problem. Being inactive is.
Fifth, humans were built for distance. We can run further than you might think.
Sixth, our ancestors. Strong, sure, but not all bulging muscles.
Seventh, fighting, it became about strategy, using tools, working together.
Eighth, being active helps us as we age. Keeps us strong.
Ninth, mix it up. Different types of movement. That's the key.
And 10th, find something you actually enjoy. That's how you'll stick with it.
There you have it. That covers pretty much everything we've talked about.
Couldn't have done it without you, honestly. Thanks for sharing all your knowledge. This was really fascinating.
My pleasure. And thanks to all our listeners for joining us. Keep those brains working.
Remember, folks, small steps can make a big difference. Move your body, find that joy in movement, and stay curious about the world. Until next time, keep learning and exploring.